What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Please Let This Be number 125's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the Flame Toys Starscream on loan to me from Robert D, who has a very impressive Flame Toys collection, I might add, when I stop and really think about it for a second. That being said, he has sent this to me with trust, and I'm hoping that that trust pays off, but it can't get in the way of us actually taking a look at it, which I plan to do here shortly, right after we look at accessories. Now, you know I usually like to start with the hands, but we're going to make a special exception today because I don't want to look at him any longer without his sort of signature wings on. So he comes with two, obviously. We'll look at, it doesn't matter which one. We'll look at one, though. There is some articulation here. This is spring-loaded. We're going to get to that in a bit. It can move in and out, and there's a piston that will be included in that. You have to forgive my thumb. I mucked it up recently. And it will bend backward, and then it will swivel. I love that it won't bend forward, because then you'd have to see this hinge, but you can plug it into his back and then not see any hinge and still get all the necessary articulation. Beautiful. Fully painted. We have the gray, obviously, the red and white, silver accents and gold, which makes it silver and gold, and then the red paint as well with some metallic red and some additional gold. Quite nice. And there's a tab here that will just slide down and lock in on his back ×2. And now we can get to my hands, so to speak. So he comes with left and right trigger finger hands, two sets of left and right posing hands, one set of outreaching and one set of pointing or gesturing hands, two sets of holding hands that we'll go through as we work. All decoed the same, and all addition to the two closed fist hands that you saw in the opening footage. He comes with three additional faces, all with the red translucent eyes, which was not their best move. We'll get to that later. But one screaming face, one grimacing face, and one sort of smirking face. So the perfect accoutrement of faces for this specific character. Now, I think we can all agree that the next most important component to any Starscream, that we got the wings done, and the faces and hands, of course, are the null rays. So you can collapse them, you can extend them. They have the metallic paint of both the silver, the gold, and all of the blues and purples throughout. So quite nice. And of course you can peg them right onto the side of his arm. They are on the forearm, which is a little unconventional, but it still works. He comes with a sword, beautifully painted. We have a translucent bit here in the middle, then the kind of bluish silver, the gold, the purple. The hilt swings down, and the sword also separates. But before I show you that, let me show you that he can hold it just fine. And then you can separate it. He can hold the smaller pieces, but they are a little loose in there. But you can take it, fold the hilt in, and then insert it into the wing to have a more kind of finished look to the wing, or a larger wing if you so desire. You get these two shoulder-mounted weapons. We'll take a look at one. They're identical. Tons of accents, right? Fully painted. You have these flaps here that can flip up. I'm not sure exactly what the point of them is, but you can. And you can flip these open as well. You can extend your weapon here. And you can flip. There's a little tight joint. That is a problem on a lot of this figure, is some tolerances. All right, so there, that will flip around, and then you have this piece here, which you can bring out. There we go. Right, that peg, and you'll notice a female port on this side that you can plug into and mount it to the shoulder. This huge mamma jamma. Now he comes with these. He comes with two of these as well. And this is already kind of transformed. It looks like this. It's just easier to show you this way. So that the way it comes in packaging is this comes wrapped around like that. That comes wrapped around like that. And then this piece is slid in, and you have this, right? So with the gun out, you could use this as a null ray too if you want. It's the same kind of peg system. But what it's actually intended for are kind of hip skirts, almost a la, the original MP style, and you could put it on either side and in either direction, however you so desire. He comes with one of these. It's kind of like a jetpack, I guess, for lack of a better term. Once again, same sort of deco. Purple looks fantastic down here, by the way. And you have this little bit here that can kind of fold up. You have this connection point, which will tab directly onto his back. Let me see if I can't. There. You get two of these. We're just looking at one. This piece opens up here for rockets. This piece opens up here for rockets. Once again, deco throughout. Absolutely astonishing. And then we have this port here. And there's a little tab that you can flip out on his leg that can receive it. You know, and then that's kind of a finished armored up look. I'll try to do an armored up look when we do final thoughts, if not pictures at the end. You get two purple translucent blast effects. Just purple, nothing else really to say. Now, you can plug these into the shoulder-mounted bits so that they're firing off. I was wondering if they would plug into those blasters on his hips, but it doesn't appear that they will. And the only reason why I looked, so much of this stuff is modular, right? It all operates off the same system. So like even the null rays I showed you, they went on the forearm. That doesn't mean they can't go on the shoulder too, if you want them to, like, or on the hips, wherever you want them to plug in, you know. And I don't even know if I chose the right thing on the forearms or whatever, but they can go anywhere, whatever look you desire. Now, Robert ordered this through Flame Toys, which I think comes with an exclusive bit, which is the kind of like Coronation Starscream. How about this crown? Absolutely beautiful. The red translucent looks stunning. Red metallic, gold metallic, fantastic. This would just go on, like you unpeg the front helmet and then you would put this on. It comes with like the two shoulder pads, purple metallic with the yellow or gold accents. And that slides on to the existing shoulder and once again pegs into that same modular system to sort of keep it in route or intact. And then of course comes with the cape bit, has the Decepticon logo on it, which is nice. Has wires in the middle of the cape, the bottom of the cape, and the sides of the cape, and they all run up into the framing of the backpack. So that's actually the proper way to do it. These two tabs, you have to take off all of this stuff that you've put on his back. And then you have these two tabs that go in the same way that the wings went in, right? And then it's the same thing here, right? So you have the slots here now for the wings. And then you have this male connection for the female connection for the jetpack bit. And you're in service. Not for nothing though, I do think that's one of the sickest Coronation Starscream looks I've ever seen. It probably actually is the best Coronation Starscream look that I personally have ever seen. And then lastly, he comes with your typical standard Flames Toys display base. This bit connects there. You have the front bit that you can angle however you'd like. You have your controller here that when you lock in, it will stay locked. When you open it, that will allow you to adjust it. You have this piece here, which as you can see is grooved. So you put it in, that sort of locks that in position. And then you see this piece here, which can be utilized on the back of Starscream. Straight on in there. No cap to remove or anything. That's a nice little bonus. And that will connect to your base and then you're good to go. Lastly, there is a light up feature, gimmicks wise, that will light up his kind of eyes and chest. It's already been done, so that's why I'm showing it. The button for it is right here. It's actually an awkward little button to activate, but once you activate it, get it all lit up, looks great. You know, it's just unfortunately the eyes aren't painted, so without the light up feature, looks pretty dead. And we'll get in tight on the head sculpt for Dennis, and it's beautiful. Unfortunately, the eyes are dead without the light up feature, which is a bummer. But face is sculpted beautifully, painted. We have the gray, the two shades of gray, the gold, and purple accent. I love that little subtle purple accent in the middle of his forehead. Love it. The head itself is on a ball peg at the neck, and then the neck is also on a ball peg. So it basically acts as a double ball peg, which is perfect. Gets the head up to there, down, swivel, confused dog look. It all works well. No issues whatsoever. We've already gone over the wing articulation, so we're going to skip that. We have the chest details. So we have the red paint, the gray paint, the translucent orange over top of what I think is silver, metallic red, gold accents, silver accents. Outstanding. So we have articulation here as well. We have so this is a bummer. I'm going to go ahead and address this now. These wings want to pop off at the slightest bit of pushing it past its comfort zone. So you can see if I put a little bit of pressure right there, it's already trying to pop out. So they'll probably pop off a bunch during this review. I apologize. Let's see. Okay, so yes, ab crunch reverse. So you have a hinge or a ball peg here at the waist that allows you to get a little bit back. That will also allow you to get a little bit forward, and then the entire chest will tuck in to the abdomen for an additional crunch. The nose cone tucking into the actual abdominal casing there, which is fantastic. Now, there's also a swivel. Eat your heart out, Dakar. And there is a teapot joint, but it's very slight. You see it? But it does cover down on the silver innards, which I think works quite nicely. Just not a huge range. All right, shoulders. So we have this, the gray paint, of course. There'll be this little accent there. It's outstanding, just little stuff that they do like that. We have the shoulder pad, which moves independently on the shoulder to help cover down. The shoulders themselves will give you a butterfly. Once again, not a huge range, similar to that teapot joint. Not a huge range, but it is in there. And then you get, of course, the swivel around, and then the outward movement out to 90 degrees. Bicep swivel, 2 shades of gray with the silver and accent there. Double jointed elbow, once again, little bit of a tight joint, but full run and covers down on the joint, and all of that tucks back into the bicep as you go to release it. Well done. The elbow moves independently as well. Silver and gold accents on the blue, which is also painted. 2 shades of blue, I might have you know. Fantastic. All right, so the wrist, we have a ball peg, which there's a swivel where the hand connects, obviously. Then you get down, up, side to side, fully articulated wrist. Okay, let's back out a bit and we'll look at the lower body. So we have the metallic red with red, metallic red with red paint on the hip skirts. The hip skirts will also rotate forward a bit to give you just a little bit of extra room. And then you have these rear butt skirts as well. All of them, all those skirts are fully detailed underneath and painted, which is a nice touch. For our universal joints, so that will get you out to the side to there, so not quite the full Van Damme, but more than you'll ever need. And then ratcheted forward and back for the full Monty. Nice ratchets too, they feel good. Thigh swivel, once again a little tight, and we have some accents on the gray as well. All right, double jointed knee. So couple things happen here. Watch this knee pad, typical kind of Flames Toys treatment. So there's the first joint, and then there's the second joint. Oh, my bad. This thigh piece slides down and covers up, exposes more kind of metallic innards underneath. And I thought something happened with that knee pad. Oh yeah, the knee pad does extend a bit and then tucks back into the calf. All right, lower legs. Once again, the 2 shades of gray, the accents. We have a little bit of a purple kind of being heavily introduced there, which I think is nice. It's a very subtle purple, like a very gray purple. Accents continue down the bottom. Now, the feet are actually pretty complicated, but I will do my best to show them. So you have a forward and back I think it's a ball peg for the ankle. The toe also has a hinge. So forward is no problem, back is no problem. And then you have these flaps here that can get out of your way to allow you to get the rocker, which is more significant than it seems at first. But yeah, pretty well done. Materials feel astounding, you know, typical Flame Toy stuff there. The build is a little stiff, so to speak, but I'm hoping that if you bought this, it will kind of loosen up over time. And there it is from the back. Size comparison wise, there he is next to an MP Seeker, so they're about the same size, which is cool. And I would guess you'll probably get a Skywarp and a Thundercracker if I know logistics and if the market will support it, but that would be my guess. It's pretty cool. Love to see it. 125. Made it. Final thoughts wise, let's start with the negatives. And for me, the biggest negative is some of the build tolerances. They're just too tight, which makes it really scary for me, which is why I think it has such an impact, because I don't want to have to replace this. But a lot of the kind of tolerances are just too tight and make the sort of working with it a little bit of a bear from time to time. You're also worried about what's going to break it versus when is it going to give, all that kind of stuff that comes with like really tight joints. There's other criticisms I have, like the dead eyes, when the lights aren't on. Probably would have liked a little bit more articulation out of the ankles. But honestly, my biggest criticism here is just the amount of things that I don't necessarily think add a whole lot. I don't think this looks cool. You might, and if you do, you're in luck, because this is for sale. Not this particular one, but the piece itself. To me, it's just too much going on, and I can't help but wonder, if I were to have bought this, how much of this useless am I paying for? And not even useless in the sense of like it doesn't have a purpose, but in the sense that it doesn't elevate the aesthetic at all, in my opinion. And if anything, it detracts. And I don't want to be hard on this, so to speak, because I have a lot of good to say about it. But if the overall cost of doing business to buy this donated more than $50 to cover all of these accessories, I would say give me the wings, give me the null rays, give me the Coronation set, half the hands, and you can save the rest. Because I just can't imagine that someone would buy this and then want to display it this way. But that's all that is totally subjective on my part, but it is my opinion. Before we move on to the positives, I also want to say for a negative, those wings at the back of the legs are really, really, really obnoxious. They pop off all the time. Now, I debated on what to do for the final pose. I almost did the Coronation thing. I almost did a mix between the two, but I ultimately decided to go with the most toned down version just to show that it would have been more than enough to sell it out the door. And once you got it in hand, you'd love it even more because the materials are fantastic. The overwhelming majority of the articulation is astounding. The paint is beautiful. Love the hand options. Love the Coronation set. Love the attitude in the sculpt and design and face and everything. It's great, and it didn't need to be greater, especially if that added to the principle of the price point, because this is fantastic on its own. Do with that information as you will. This is a knockout figure that tried to do too much, but if you leave that other stuff in the storage room, you're going to be more than happy. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.